Procrastination is a common problem that affects many people. It can be difficult to overcome, but the teachings of Stoicism can help. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment, accepting what is within your control, and practicing self-discipline. In this video, we will discuss 7 Stoic lessons to eliminate procrastination from your life. Lesson 1. Focus on the present moment. Being in the present is one of the most important things that Stoicism teaches. Don't worry about the past or the future. Instead, think about what you can do now. This means you shouldn't think about what you need to do next when you're putting things off. Instead, you should focus on the job at hand. Focusing on the present can help you avoid other things that want your attention and get more done. Stoicism tells us to live in the present, which means we shouldn't worry about the past or the future. Instead, we should think about what we can do now. We can avoid distractions and get more done if we stay in the present. People frequently put things off when they are worried about what might happen if they don't finish a job on time or reach their goals. We can stop worrying about these things and focus on what we need to do right now if we stay in the present. A mindfulness exercise can help you stay in the present moment. Paying attention to the present moment without judging it is a method called mindfulness. Mindfulness helps us pay attention to our thoughts and feelings and learn to let go of things that aren't important. To stay in the present, you can also break up big chores into smaller ones that you can handle. There are times when having a big job to do can be stressful and make us put it off. It helps us focus on the present and not worry about what might happen in the future when we divide the job into smaller steps. One important Stoic lesson that can help us stop putting things off is to focus on the present moment. It's possible to stay focused on what needs to be done right now by being mindful and breaking chores down into smaller steps. Lesson 2. Accept what is within your control. One more important Stoic lesson is to be okay with what you can change. For example, we shouldn't think about the weather or what other people do because we can't change them. When it comes to putting things off, this means we should think about what we can do to finish them instead of worried about things we can't change. There are several ways that accepting what we can control can help us stop putting things off. In the first place, it can help us stay focused. People can get sidetracked and forget what they need to do right now when they worry about things they can't change. Setting goals that are attainable can be helped by being aware of what we can control. When we think about what we can do, we can make goals that we can actually reach and not ones that will make us fail. Taking responsibility can be helped by recognizing what we can control. The more we think about what we can do to get things done, the more responsible we feel about our choices and actions. One important Stoic lesson that can help us stop putting things off is to accept what we can control. We can set reasonable goals and be responsible for our actions if we keep our minds on what we need to do and stay away from things that will distract us. Lesson 3. Practice self-discipline. Another important Stoic lesson that can help you stop putting things off is self-discipline. Making plans and following through on them is important, even when things get tough. If you want to stop putting things off, you should give yourself due dates and meet them, even if you don't feel like working. Self-discipline is one of the most important lessons for Stoics, and it can really help us stop putting things off. Setting goals and working toward them, even when things get hard or there are temptations, is part of self-discipline. Self-discipline is very important if you want to stop putting things off. It helps us fight the urge to put things off and instead act right away. When we practice self-discipline, we learn how to organize our tasks and make a promise to finish them on time. Setting up an organized routine is a good way to learn self-discipline. A daily plan or to-do list keeps us on track and gives us a clear idea of how to complete our tasks. By sticking to this routine, we train ourselves to stay focused and controlled, which makes it less likely that we'll give up and put things off. Learning to deal with distractions is another part of being self-disciplined. In today's busy world full of distractions, it's important to find ways to keep your mind on the task at hand. This could mean setting time limits on social media, turning off notifications, or making a place for work that is free from all other things. Developing self-discipline also means getting stronger and not giving up. We will always have times where things go wrong, or when things get hard along the way. Our strong sense of focus will help us get through these problems and keep moving toward our goals. Learning self-discipline is an important part of getting rid of procrastinating. We can develop the self-discipline we need to stop putting things off and get what we want by setting goals, making a structured routine, avoiding distractions, and building resiliency. Lesson 4. Embrace discomfort. Stoicism tells us to accept being uncomfortable and see it as a chance to grow. When it comes to putting things off, this means you should welcome the discomfort of starting a job and see it as a chance to learn and get better. A strong Stoic lesson that can help us stop putting things off and reach our goals is to accept discomfort. Being Stoic means learning to see pain as a chance to grow and improve, not as something to avoid. Putting things off is often because we don't want to do them or find them difficult. It's possible that we choose comfort and instant satisfaction over the discomfort that comes with taking action. We can break out of the cycle of putting things off by accepting discomfort. When we accept that we need to leave our comfort zones in order to grow and move forward, we are embracing pain. Being brave means being ready to do hard things, face our fears, and get past problems. We increase our skills and become stronger when faced with problems when we do this. To accept being uncomfortable, it can help to change the way we think. We don't have to see discomfort as something bad or to be ignored. Instead, we can see it as a sign of growth and a chance to improve ourselves. By changing how we look at things, we can approach difficult jobs with interest and pleasure, knowing that they will help us grow in the long run. Voluntary discomfort is one type of Stoic training that can help us handle pain better. This could mean putting ourselves in situations that are hard on purpose or picking jobs that are hard on purpose that take us out of our comfort zones. Over time, this practice makes it easier to deal with pain and lessens our desire to put things off. One important Stoic lesson for getting rid of procrastination is to accept pain. By changing the way we think about discomfort as a way to grow, and by voluntarily feeling uncomfortable, we can build the strength and drive we need to face difficult tasks head-on and stop putting them off. Lesson 5. Visualize the consequences of inaction. Another Stoic lesson is to think about what will happen if you don't do anything. In other words, you should think about what will happen if you don't do something. If you want to stop putting things off, think about what will happen if you don't start working on them. For example, you might miss a deadline or not reach your goals. Visualizing the bad things that will happen if we don't do something is a powerful Stoic method that can help us stop putting things off. Visualizing the bad things that will happen if we don't act can push us to do something and stop putting things off. People often put things off when they think about the short-term benefits of doing something later, like avoiding pain or looking for pleasure right now. Seeing the long-term effects of not doing anything, on the other hand, can help us understand how important it is to move. We can picture what will happen if we don't do something by asking ourselves things like, what will happen if I don't finish this task? Or, how will my life be affected if I continue to procrastinate? By being honest when we answer these questions, we can learn more about how putting things off can hurt our lives. It's also important to think about the good things that will happen if you act. We can get ourselves to do something and stop putting things off by picturing the good things that will happen when we finish a job, like reaching our goals or feeling proud of what we've done. One effective Stoic way to stop putting things off is to picture the bad things that will happen if you don't do something. To get motivated to take action and reach our goals, we can learn more about the bad effects of putting things off and picture what the future will look like. Lesson 6. Focus on the process, not just the outcome. Stoicism tells us to pay attention to the way things happen as well as the results. You shouldn't worry about whether or not you will reach your goals. Instead, you should focus on what you can do right now to get there. Think about the steps you need to take to get things done instead of putting them off. For example, break a big job into smaller steps and work on each one separately. One useful Stoic lesson that can help us stop putting things off is to focus on the process instead of just the result. Focusing on the steps we need to take to reach our goals can help us feel more fulfilled and motivated in the present, which can make us less likely to put things off. People often put things off until later because they are too focused on the end result and feel too much pressure to get it done. This can make us feel overwhelmed or like we need to be great, which can stop us from moving forward. By shifting our attention to the act of doing something, we can break our chores down into smaller, more manageable steps and go about them with clarity and a sense of purpose. To develop a growth attitude, we can also stress the process. We can see jobs as chances to learn, grow, and improve ourselves instead of just things we have to do or ways to get something else. Instead of only thinking about the end goal, this change in viewpoint helps us enjoy the journey and deal with the problems we face along the way. Setting goals that are focused on the process instead of just the end result can help you stay focused on the process. Process-oriented goals are based on the actions and behaviors that we need to do to get what we want. By breaking our goals down into specific steps and dates, we can focus on making progress at each stage. This can keep us motivated and help us avoid putting things off. Being mindful during the process can help us stay in the moment and pay attention. We can focus on the present moment by giving each job our full attention. This cuts down on distractions and makes us more productive. A strong Stoic lesson for getting rid of procrastination is to focus on the process instead of just the result. We can find more satisfaction in the road toward our goals and lessen our tendency to put things off by focusing on the present moment, setting process-oriented goals, and practicing mindfulness. Lesson 7. Practice gratitude. Being Stoic teaches us to be thankful. In other words, you should be grateful for what you have and think about the good things in your life instead of the bad. When it comes to putting things off, this means you should be thankful for the chance to work on a job and think about the good things that will happen if you finish it, like reaching your goals or getting better at what you do. Being grateful is a strong way to stop putting things off and develop a positive attitude. When we are thankful for what we have and the chances that are open to us, we shift our attention from what we don't have to what we do have. This can make us more motivated and less likely to put things off. People often put things off because they are unhappy or are focused on what they don't have. However, when we practice thanks, we train ourselves to value the here and now and the things we have access to. This change in viewpoint can help us do things with a mindset of gratitude and plenty instead of lack or scarcity. One way to show thanks is to think about or write in a gratitude journal every day. Writing down what we're thankful for every day can help us keep a happy attitude and focus on the good things in our lives. Recognizing the good things in our lives and the chances we have can make us happy and encourage us to make the most of our time. Being thankful for other people is another way to practice gratitude. Taking the time to thank others for their help, advice, or contributions can not only make our relationships stronger, but it can also make us feel more grateful. When we appreciate and acknowledge the work of others, we create an environment of happiness and teamwork, which can motivate us to act and stop putting things off. Making gratitude a part of our daily lives can help us stay stable and on track. No matter if we start the day with a gratitude meditation or end it by thinking about 3 things we're thankful for. These habits can help us stay in the present and remember how lucky we are. Practicing gratitude is a strong way to stop putting things off. By focusing on what we have instead of what we don't have, showing others how much we appreciate them, and making thanks a part of our daily lives, we can develop a positive attitude that keeps us motivated and less likely to put things off. These 7 Stoic lessons will help you stop putting things off and get things done, will help you stop putting things off and reach your goals. You can be more productive and successful in every area of your life by focusing on the present, accepting what you can control, being self-disciplined, embracing discomfort, picturing what will happen if you don't do anything, focusing on the process rather than the outcome, and being grateful.